You know that feeling when your life is just stuck? That's exactly where I was 3 months ago. My apartment looked like a tornado had thrown a party there. Pizza boxes stacked up near the door, dirty dishes piling up in the sink, and don't even get me started on the laundry situation. I kept telling myself I'd clean up this weekend. Then the weekend would come, and I'd just crash on the couch, too tired to even think about it. Working from home sounded great when I started, but honestly, it made everything worse. My bedroom became my office. My kitchen table became a dumping ground for random stuff. I was living in chaos, and the mess was starting to mess with my head too. That's when my friend told me about this new service. After the whole alien integration thing happened last year, apparently there were these agencies helping aliens find work. I know, right? Sounds crazy, but it was real. The government passed some law, opened up work permits, and suddenly there were beings from other planets just trying to make a living here on Earth. I thought about it for maybe 2 weeks. Part of me felt weird about hiring someone to clean up after me. Isn't that something adults should just handle themselves? But another part of me knew I was drowning here. So I made the call. The agency lady was super professional. She asked me about my schedule, what kind of help I needed, and whether I was okay with different species. I said, sure, who am I to judge? She told me she'd send someone over by Thursday. Thursday came, and it was one of those typical rainy days we get here. I was in the middle of a video call when my doorbell rang. I quickly muted myself and ran to the door, probably looking like a complete mess in my wrinkled t-shirt and sweatpants. When I opened the door, I just stopped. Standing there was this person who looked mostly human, but not quite. She had these silver markings along the sides of her forehead, kind of like natural tattoos that seemed to shimmer even in the dull hallway light. Her eyes were this incredible violet color, the kind you don't see in regular contacts. And she moved with this strange grace, like every gesture was calculated but still somehow natural. Good afternoon, she said, her voice having this musical quality to it. I'm Zara. The agency sent me. I probably stood there with my mouth open for a second too long before I remembered how to speak. Oh, right, yes. Come in, sorry about the mess. That's, why you're here. She stepped inside carrying a small bag with her supplies. Her eyes scanned the apartment, and I swear I saw the tiniest hint of a smile. Not judgmental or anything, just understanding, maybe. I've seen worse, she said simply. May I start in the kitchen? Sure, yeah. Wherever you want to start is fine with me. I went back to my computer trying to focus on my meeting, but I kept glancing over at her. She worked differently than I expected. Every movement was precise. She wasn't just cleaning. She was organizing, thinking about where things should go. She'd pause sometimes, looking at something, deciding the best place for it. The first week went by fast. She'd show up at 2 in the afternoon, work until 6, and leave without much conversation. Just professional, polite, and incredibly efficient. I'd come out of my room at the end of her shift and find my apartment transformed. Books organized by size and color. Kitchen spotless and actually functional again. Even my scattered papers were sorted into neat piles. But what really got me was the small touches. She'd leave these tiny flowers from the corner store in a cup near the window. She'd fold my throw blankets in this specific way that just looked nice. She'd arrange my coffee mugs so the handles all faced the same direction. One day I asked her why she did all that extra stuff. She looked at me with those violet eyes and said, "A space should feel peaceful, not just look clean." That hit me harder than it should have. Nobody had ever thought about my peace before. I barely thought about it myself. By the second week, I noticed she was staying later. Not because she was slow, but because she'd finish her work and then just keep going. She'd reorganize my bookshelf or deep clean something that wasn't even on the list. I felt bad about it. You don't have to stay past your hours, I told her one evening. I'm already paying you for the time you're here. She looked up from where she was arranging some plants. I know, but I like making things better. It helps me think. Think about what? She paused, and for the first time I saw something other than professional distance on her face. Something sad. Home, mostly. What it used to be like before everything changed. I should have probably left it there, respected her privacy. But something made me ask, do you miss it? Your home planet? Her hands stilled on the plant leaves, every single day. But missing something and being able to return to it are two different things. The way she said it made my chest hurt. I'd never really thought about what it meant for these aliens to be here. We just called it integration like it was some bureaucratic thing. But for them, for her, It meant losing everything they knew. That night after she left, I couldn't stop thinking about our conversation. The next day, I did something I'd never done before. I made extra coffee and brought her a cup while she was working. "You take breaks, right?" I asked, offering her the mug. She looked surprised but took it. "Thank you." "That's very kind. There's a balcony out there. It's not much, but the view's decent. You can take your break there if you want." She nodded, and I watched her walk out to the balcony. Something made me follow a few minutes later with my own coffee. She was standing there looking up at the sky even though it was cloudy. "Can you see your planet from here?" I asked, immediately feeling stupid. Space is huge, but she didn't laugh at me. "No, it's too far." But I look anyway. Habit, I guess. We stood there in silence for a while. It wasn't awkward, though, just quiet, peaceful, like she'd said about spaces. "I'm sorry you can't go back," I finally said. "Me too, but I'm grateful to be here, alive, working. It's more than many others got." That's when something shifted. She wasn't just the person who cleaned my apartment anymore. She was a person with a whole story, a whole life before this. Someone who'd lost everything and was trying to rebuild. "I'm glad you're here," I said, and I meant it in a way that surprised me. She looked at me then, really looked at me and smiled. A real smile this time. "Thank you. That means more than you know." From that day on, things were different between us. Not in any obvious way, but in small moments. She started calling me by my first name instead of sir. I started timing my breaks to when she took hers. We'd end up on that balcony talking about random things. She told me about the flowers on her planet that glowed at night. I told her about my grandmother's cooking. She explained physics concepts from her world's perspective. I showed her funny videos that made her laugh in this unexpected, bright way. I started looking forward to Thursdays in a way that felt almost embarrassing. Not because my apartment got cleaned, but because Zara would be there. Our afternoon coffee breaks became something I'd think about during boring work meetings. Pathetic? Maybe. But it was the best part of my week. One evening, about a month after she started, I was sitting at my computer pretending to work, but actually just thinking about how quiet the apartment felt when she wasn't there. I'd mentioned to her earlier that week how I used to have friends over all the time. Game nights, movie marathons, that sort of thing. But somewhere along the way, I'd stopped doing that. Work got busy, people moved away, and suddenly I was just alone. "What kind of games?" she'd asked, genuinely curious. "Oh, you know, board games, card games, video games. Just fun stuff to not think about life for a while." Her eyes had lit up in this interested way. "I've never done that. Games, I mean. We had different forms of entertainment back home." Without thinking, I said, "Want to try sometime?" She'd looked surprised. "Really? But that's not part of my job." "I know. That's why I'm asking if you want to, not telling you to." She'd smiled at that. "Then yes, I'd like that very much." So that's how we ended up sitting on my living room floor on a Friday night, a chessboard between us. I figured chess was a good start since it was pretty universal. Strategy is strategy, right? Wrong. So wrong. "Wait, you can't move your knight there," I said, pointing at the board. "Why not? It's an open space." "Because knights move in an L shape. 2 squares one direction, 1 square the other direction." She studied the board with this intense focus. "That seems unnecessarily complicated." That's chess for you. It took her maybe 3 games to completely understand all the rules. By the 5th game, she was beating me. By the 8th game, I was just embarrassed. "How are you this good already?" I asked, staring at my defeated king. "Pattern recognition," she said simply. Once I understood the logic, the rest just made sense. "Show off," I muttered. But I was smiling. We moved on to other games. She destroyed me at Scrabble because apparently she'd memorized a dictionary for fun when learning English. She was surprisingly bad at poker because she couldn't lie to save her life. And video games? That became our thing. I loaded up this co-op game where you have to work together to solve puzzles and fight enemies. She picked up the controller carefully like it might break. "These buttons do different things," I explained. "This one makes you jump, this one attacks, this one opens your inventory." "So many options," she murmured, pressing buttons experimentally. Her character on screen jumped, spun in a circle, and fell off a cliff. She looked at me, mortified. "I killed myself." I burst out laughing. It's okay. That's what practice is for. Here, try again. For the next hour, she died repeatedly in increasingly creative ways, fell off cliffs, walked into fires, got squashed by falling rocks. Every time she'd make this little frustrated noise that was honestly adorable, but she never gave up. That's what I noticed about her. She faced everything with this determined persistence. By the end of the night, we'd actually made progress. We beat the first level together, and when the victory screen came up, she literally jumped up from the couch. "We did it," she exclaimed, her silver markings glowing brighter than I'd ever seen them. "Yeah, we did, see? You're a natural." She sat back down, still smiling. "This is fun. Different from what I'm used to, but good different. Thank you for sharing this with me. Thank you for wanting to try it. Want to keep going?" She checked the time and hesitated. "It's already late. I should probably go." "Or," I said, surprising myself, "we could order food and keep playing. Only if you want to, though. No pressure." She looked at me for a long moment. "What kind of food? Have you tried pizza yet?" "No, what is it?" "Oh, you're in for a treat. It's basically bread with cheese and toppings. It's terrible for you and absolutely delicious." We ordered pizza, and watching her try it for the first time was better than any game we'd played. She took a small bite, chewed thoughtfully, and her eyes went wide. "This is chaotic," she said. Yeah. Pizza can get messy." "No, I mean the flavors. They're all fighting each other but somehow working together. It's chaotic, but perfect." I'd never heard anyone describe pizza that way, but she was right. Chaotically perfect, I like that. We played until almost midnight. At some point, we got stuck on this really hard level. We must have tried it 20 times, dying over and over. But instead of getting frustrated, we just kept laughing. Every failure became funnier than the last. "Okay, this time I'll go left and distract the enemies while you grab the key," she said, already planning our next attempt. "Got it. On 3. 1, 2, 3, go." We moved together, our characters working in perfect sync. I distracted the enemies. She grabbed the key. We met at the door, unlocked it, and ran through just as the timer hit 0. The victory music played, and we both jumped up, high-fiving without thinking. Her hand was warm, her smile bright, and for just a second we stood there, hands still touching, looking at each other. "We make a good team," she said softly. "Yeah," I agreed, my heart doing something weird in my chest. "We really do." She left. Shortly after that, but the apartment felt different when she was gone. Not empty exactly, but like it was waiting for her to come back. The next day I couldn't concentrate on work. I kept replaying the night before. The way she laughed, the way her whole face lit up when we won, the way she'd looked at me when we high-fived. My phone buzzed. A message from Zara. "Thank you for last night. I haven't had that much fun in a long time. Can we do it again tonight?" I stared at that message for probably too long. Can we do it again tonight? Not tomorrow. Tonight. She wanted to come back, wanted to spend more time together, and it wasn't about work. It was about us. About this thing that was building between us. I typed back, "Absolutely. Same time. I'll bring snacks this time. See you tonight." I sat there with my phone, grinning like an idiot. Something had changed. Or maybe it had been changing all along, and I was only just now realizing it. That night she showed up with these weird alien snacks from an import store. They tasted like cinnamon mixed with starlight, if that makes sense. We played games, we talked, we laughed. And at the end of the night when she left, she hugged me goodbye. It was quick, casual, but it felt monumental. "See you tomorrow?" she asked. "I'll be here," I said. After she left, I just stood there in my clean, organized apartment that somehow felt like home for the first time in years. And I realized something that scared and excited me in equal measure. I was falling for her, for Zara, my alien maid who wasn't just a maid anymore, who maybe never really was. I didn't sleep that night. I just lay there staring at my ceiling, thinking about everything. About how Zara had started as just someone who cleaned my apartment, and now she was the person I most wanted to see every day. About how wrong that felt and how right it felt at the same time. The next evening, I was a mess. I'd changed my shirt 3 times. 3 times! For what was supposed to be just hanging out. But my brain wouldn't shut up about it. What if I was reading this all wrong? What if she was just being nice? What if I was that guy who mistakes kindness for something more? When she arrived, I could tell something was different about her too. She seemed nervous, which was weird because Zara was never nervous. She was always so calm and collected. "Hey," I said, opening the door. "Hi." She stepped inside, and we just stood there for a second. This awkward energy between us that had never been there before. "So, I set up the game," I said, pointing to the TV. "Actually, can we talk first?" My stomach dropped. Those words never lead anywhere good. "Yeah, of course. Want to sit?" We sat on the couch, and she turned to face me. Her violet eyes were serious, and those silver markings seemed dimmer than usual. "I need to know something," she started. "And I need you to be honest with me, okay?" "Okay," I said, my mouth suddenly dry. "Have I done something to make you uncomfortable? Are we spending too much time together? Because if this is too much, if I'm overstepping, you need to tell me. You're my employer, and I don't want to make things weird or inappropriate." I just stared at her. "Wait, what? No. That's not... I thought maybe I was making you uncomfortable." She blinked. "You? How?" "Because I'm your employer, like you said. And I'm sitting here having these feelings that I probably shouldn't have. And I'm worried I'm being that creepy boss guy who can't keep things professional." "Feelings?" she repeated, her markings starting to glow a little brighter. Well, I'd said it now. Might as well go all in. "Yeah, feelings for you, real ones. And I know how messed up that is because of the whole work situation. And I promise I've never expected anything from you. I like you, Zara. As more than just someone who works for me. As more than a friend. And I'm sorry if that makes everything weird now." She was quiet for a long moment. My heart was pounding so hard I thought it might break a rib. "In my culture," she finally said, "we don't really separate relationships into boxes the way humans do. There's no rigid line between friend and something more, between employee and employer. There's just connection, respect, affection. It exists on a spectrum." "Okay," I said slowly, not sure where this was going. "I felt drawn to you too," she continued, and my heart actually skipped. "From early on. The way you treat me like a person, not just a worker or an alien. The way you're curious about my culture without being invasive. The way you laugh at your own bad jokes, all of it. But I've been terrified because Earth customs are still new to me, and I don't want to do something wrong. I don't want to lose my position, my stability, and I definitely don't want to lose you." "You won't lose me," I said immediately. "But I also don't want you to feel trapped or pressured because I'm technically paying you." She smiled at that. "So what do we do?" I'd been thinking about this all night. "Well, first thing, you're not my employee anymore. You can still live here if you want as a roommate, but I'm not paying you to clean. That's done. No more power imbalance. But I need to work. I need income. I know. The agency told me you do translation work too, right? For the alien integration centers? You can do more of that. And you can pay rent if you want, split the bills, whatever makes you feel equal in this." She thought about it. "You'd really do that? Just change everything because of this?" "Zara, I'd change a lot more than that if it meant we could figure this out together." Her markings were glowing bright now, and she was smiling this beautiful, genuine smile. "Then yes, I want to try this, us, whatever this becomes, yeah?" "Yeah." I felt like I could breathe again. "Okay, so rule number 1, complete honesty. If something bothers you, you tell me. If I'm being an idiot, you tell me." "That's easy. You're being an idiot right now." "What? How?" "Because you're sitting all the way over there when I really want you to be closer." I laughed and moved closer on the couch. "Better?" "Much." The next few weeks were like living in a dream. We converted my home office into her room, even though she spent most nights falling asleep on the couch during our gaming sessions anyway. She started taking on more translation work, insisting on paying half of everything. We established new routines that felt natural and right. Mornings became my favorite. I'd wake up to the smell of her trying to make coffee the way I liked it, always getting it slightly wrong but improving each time. We'd sit on the balcony watching the sun come up, talking about everything and nothing. "Tell me something you've never told anyone," she'd say. "I used to want to be an astronaut. Spent my whole childhood reading about space, dreaming about visiting other planets. Then I grew up and became boring instead." "You're not boring. And you did meet someone from another planet, just in a different way than you expected. Best way possible, I'd say, and mean it. She'd tell me things too. About her family. About the day she left her planet. About the guilt she carried for surviving when others didn't. I'd listen, holding her hand, understanding that sometimes the best support is just being there. I introduced her to my friends during a video call. They were surprised, obviously, but supportive. My best friend Jake pulled me aside, virtually, and asked if I was sure about this. Absolutely sure, I told him. Then I'm happy for you, man. She seems great. She was great. She was brilliant and funny and kind. She had this competitive streak that came out during games, trash-talking me in her melodic accent that somehow made insults sound beautiful. She discovered a love for old movies, especially romantic comedies, which she found hilarious. They're so dramatic, she'd say, watching two characters argue over a misunderstanding. Just talk to each other. Communication isn't that hard. You say that, but humans are complicated. All beings are complicated. That's not an excuse for poor communication. She wasn't wrong. One night, about 2 months into our new arrangement, we were watching one of those movies. Some classic with lots of dramatic music and longing looks. The characters finally kissed on screen, and I felt Zara's hand find mine in the darkness. My heart started racing. We'd been taking things slow, still figuring out what this was between us. But sitting there, her hand warm in mine, feeling her shift closer to me on the couch, I realized I didn't want slow anymore. Zara, yeah, can I kiss you? She turned to look at me, her markings glowing softly in the TV light. I was wondering when you'd ask. I leaned in slowly, giving her every chance to change her mind. But she met me halfway, and when our lips touched, it felt like everything in the universe clicked into place. It wasn't dramatic like in the movies. It was gentle and sweet and a little clumsy because we were both nervous. But it was perfect. She was perfect. When we pulled apart, she was smiling. Took you long enough. I wanted to make sure you wanted this too. I've wanted this for weeks. But I appreciated you taking your time. It made me trust you even more. We stayed up late that night talking about what this meant, what we wanted. We agreed to keep taking things at a pace that felt right for both of us. No rushing, no pressure, just honest feelings and respect. Everything was perfect for about 3 weeks. Then reality decided to crash the party. It started small. We were at a coffee shop near my apartment, just grabbing drinks before heading to the park. The barista gave Zara this look, not hostile exactly, but not friendly either. When she handed over the coffee, she didn't smile, didn't say thank you, just slid it across the counter like Zara might contaminate it. Have a nice day, I said pointedly, taking both cups. Outside, Zara was quiet. You okay? I asked. I'm used to it, she said. The looks, the cold treatment. It's part of being here. That made me angry. It shouldn't be part of being here. You deserve to be treated with respect, I know, but wanting it and getting it are different things. It got worse. My mom called that weekend for our regular video chat. I'd been putting off telling her about Zara, partly because I knew it wouldn't go smoothly. But I couldn't keep hiding something this important. So, Mom, I wanted to tell you something. Oh no, that's never good. What is it? Are you sick? Did you lose your job? No, nothing like that. I'm actually really happy. I met someone. Her face brightened immediately. Oh, that's wonderful. Tell me about her. What's her name? What does she do? When can I meet her? Her name is Zara. She's smart, funny, kind. We've been spending a lot of time together. That's great, honey. I'm so happy for you. You've been alone too long. I took a breath. There's something else. She's not from here. I mean, not from Earth. The smile froze on my mom's face. She's an alien? Yes, she's from a planet called Solaria. She's been here about 8 months now and... Honey, wait. Are you sure about this? Have you really thought this through? I have. I really care about her, Mom. But what about the practical things? What if she has to leave Earth? What if there are medical issues? What about children? Can you even... I mean, is that biologically possible? Mom, we're just dating. We're not planning our whole lives yet. I'm just worried about you. These integration things are still so new. Nobody knows how they'll work long term. I don't want you to get hurt. What if she's the one who gets hurt by people rejecting her just because she's different? My mom sighed. I'm not rejecting her. I just want you to be careful. This is a big deal. I know it is. That's why I'm telling you. Because she's important to me and I want you to be okay with that. I need time to process this, she said finally. It's just a lot. The call ended awkwardly and I felt terrible. Zara found me sitting on the couch staring at nothing. That didn't go well? She asked, sitting beside me. She needs time. She's worried about practical stuff, about things that might go wrong. She's not wrong to worry. There are complications. I come with complications. We all come with complications. That's just life. She leaned her head on my shoulder. Your mom loves you. She'll come around. Give her time. But the hits kept coming. At work, during a team meeting, someone made a joke about checking if my alien girlfriend was planning an invasion. Everyone laughed awkwardly. I didn't. That's not funny, I said. Come on, man. Just a joke. Don't be so sensitive. Would you make that joke about anyone else's partner? About their race or where they're from? Silence, exactly. So maybe think before you speak. The meeting moved on, but I could feel the tension. Later, my manager pulled me aside. Hey, I appreciate you standing up for your values, but maybe tone it down a bit. We don't want workplace conflict. So I'm supposed to just let people mock my girlfriend? I'm not saying that. I'm just saying pick your battles. Not everyone is ready for this integration thing yet. Then maybe they should get ready faster. The worst part came on a Saturday. Zara and I were downtown just walking around enjoying the day. There was a crowd gathered in the plaza, and we didn't think much of it until we got closer. It was a protest. Signs everywhere. Earth for humans. Send them back. Our planet, our rules. People were shouting, angry, scared, directing all that emotion at beings who just wanted to live. Zara stopped walking. Her hand in mine went cold. Let's go around, I said quickly, but someone in the crowd spotted us. Spotted her specifically. Look, another one, a voice shouted. This is exactly what we're talking about. They're everywhere now. Let's go, I said more urgently, pulling Zara away. You're a traitor. Someone yelled at me. Race traitor. Planet traitor. We walked fast, not running, but close to it. I kept Zara's hand tight in mine, my other arm around her shoulders, trying to shield her from the words being thrown at us. When we finally got back to the apartment, she was shaking. Hey, we're safe now. We're home. She pulled away from me, wrapping her arms around herself. This was a mistake. What was? Us, this relationship. I'm putting you in danger, making your life harder. Your mom is disappointed, your coworkers are uncomfortable, and people on the street want to hurt you just for being with me. I don't care about any of that. But you should. Her markings were flickering, distressed. You should care. You're losing things because of me. Respect, safety, family approval. Is this really worth it? I grabbed her hands gently. Listen to me. You are worth it. Every uncomfortable conversation, every stupid comment, every narrow-minded person who has a problem with us, they don't matter. You matter. This matters. How can you be so sure? Because for the first time in years, I'm actually happy. You make me happy. You make my life better, not harder. And if some people can't see how incredible you are, that's their loss, not mine. She started crying then, these shimmering tears that looked like mercury. I held her, letting her release all the fear and stress she'd been carrying. I'm scared, she whispered. Me too, but I'm more scared of losing you than I am of anything else. That night we didn't play games or watch movies. We just talked, really talked, about our fears, about the reality of being an interspecies couple in a world still figuring out integration, about the challenges ahead. I can't promise it'll be easy, I said, but I can promise I'm not going anywhere. I'm with you completely. Even when it gets harder? Especially when it gets harder, she nodded, wiping her eyes. Then I'm with you too, all the way. The next day I did something I'd been thinking about for a while. I sat down and wrote an article. About Zara, about us, about why integration matters. I talked about how she'd changed my life. How knowing her had made me a better person. I talked about the unfairness of judging someone based on where they're from rather than who they are. I submitted it to the local online magazine, not really expecting them to publish it, but they did. And it went viral. Suddenly, my phone was blowing up. Messages of support from people in similar relationships. Thank you notes from aliens feeling seen and validated. But also hate messages, threats, people calling me every name you can imagine. You didn't have to do that, Zara said, reading the article on her phone. Tears in her eyes again, but good tears this time. Yes, I did. People need to hear this. And I need them to know exactly where I stand. Where's that? Right here. Next to you. Proudly. She kissed me then, soft and grateful and full of love. We still had battles ahead. My mom still needed time. Society still had a long way to go. But we were in it together, and that made all the difference. 6 months passed after my article went viral. 6 months of ups and downs, progress and setbacks. But through it all, Zara and I stayed strong. We became that couple. The one people either loved or used as an example of everything wrong with integration. We learned to ignore the haters and focus on the supporters. My mom eventually came around. It took time and a lot of patient conversations. But the turning point came when she finally agreed to video chat with Zara. "Mrs. Rodriguez, it's so nice to finally meet you," Zara said, nervous but smiling. My mom was quiet for a moment, then said, "Call me Linda, and I'm sorry it took me so long to do this. I was scared for my son, but I can see how happy he is with you." Watching them talk, seeing my mom warm up to Zara's gentle humor and obvious kindness, made something in my chest loosen. Family acceptance meant more than I'd realized. Work got better too. After I stood my ground, more people started thinking about their words. Some apologized. A few even admitted they'd been wrong. Not everyone changed their minds, but the outright hostility stopped. But the best thing that happened, the thing that changed everything? We found her brother. It was a Tuesday morning. I was making breakfast while Zara worked on translating some documents. Her phone buzzed with an email and I heard her gasp. "What? What is it?" She was staring at her screen, hand over her mouth. "It's from the Refugee Processing Center in Europe. They have someone matching my brother's description. They need me to verify through a video call." I dropped everything. "When?" "Today, in an hour." "Oh God, what if it's him? What if it's not? What if—" "Hey, breathe. Whatever happens, we handle it together, okay?" An hour later, we were both sitting in front of my computer screen, Zara's hand gripping mine so tight my fingers were numb. The call connected and a staff member appeared. "Thank you for joining us. We're going to bring in the individual now. Please confirm if you recognize him." A young guy walked into frame. He looked thin and tired, but he had the same silver markings as Zara, the same violet eyes. He looked at the camera and his entire face transformed. "Zara," he said, his voice breaking. "Kale!" She started crying immediately, laughing and sobbing at the same time. "You're alive! You're alive!" I watched them talk rapidly in their language, both crying, both smiling. This reunion I was witnessing was the most beautiful thing I'd ever seen. After 20 minutes of them just staring at each other, crying and laughing, the staff member explained the next steps. Kyle was in a refugee facility, but we could sponsor him to come to us. "We'll do it," I said immediately. "Whatever paperwork you need, whatever it costs. We'll bring him here." Zara turned to me. "You don't have to. He's your family. That makes him my family too." The process took 2 months. 2 months of paperwork, video calls with Kale, preparing our apartment for one more person. Our 2-bedroom place suddenly felt small, but I didn't care. The day Kale arrived at the airport, Zara was a nervous wreck. We stood at the arrivals gate, her bouncing on her toes, watching every person who came through. Then he was there, skinny, carrying a small backpack, looking overwhelmed by everything. Zara ran to him and they collided in a hug that made everyone around us stop and smile. I stayed back, giving them their moment, but Kale pulled away and looked at me. "You're him? The human who helped my sister?" "That's me. Welcome to Earth, Kale." He surprised me by hugging me too. "Thank you. Thank you for taking care of her, for helping bring me here." Having Kale live with us was an adjustment. Our apartment went from peaceful couple space to chaotic family space overnight. He'd wake up screaming from nightmares sometimes. He struggled with English, got frustrated easily, cried randomly. The trauma of losing his planet and being separated from Zara had left deep scars, but slowly he healed. He started community college classes, made friends, learned to laugh again, and somewhere along the way he started calling me his brother. "You don't have to do that," I told him one day. "But you are my brother. You saved my sister. You brought me here. You gave us a home. That makes you family." I won't lie, I got a little emotional at that. A year after Zara first walked into my messy apartment, I decided it was time. I'd been thinking about it for months, planning, waiting for the right moment. I took Zara hiking to this spot outside the city where you could see the stars clearly. She loved stargazing, always looking up even though her home planet was too far to see. We sat on the blanket I'd brought, looking at the night sky. "Do you remember," I said, "when you first started working for me, and you'd come out to the balcony during breaks to look at the sky?" I remember everything about those days. I was so lonely then. Are you lonely now? She turned to me, smiling. Not even a little bit. I have you. I have Kale. I have a life here. What if we made it even more official? This life we're building? I pulled out the ring I'd been hiding. I'd spent weeks designing it with a jeweler, incorporating elements from both human and Solarian traditions. It had a stone that reminded me of her eyes and a band engraved with words in her language. Zara, I know your people don't do marriage exactly like we do, but I want to promise you everything I have. My present, my future, my whole heart. Will you build the rest of our lives with me? Her markings were glowing so bright they lit up the darkness around us. Yes, of course, yes. I slipped the ring on her finger and she kissed me under those stars and everything felt perfect. We had 2 ceremonies. One traditional human wedding for my family and friends. One Solarian star bonding ceremony with her small community of refugees. Kale stood with both of us, proud and happy. My mom cried and told Zara she was gaining a daughter. Our friends celebrated with us. It was imperfect and multicultural and absolutely beautiful. Now 2 years after Zara first walked into my life, I'm sitting on our balcony. Well, it's not really our apartment anymore. We moved to a bigger place, one where Kale has his own room and we have space for the life we're building. Kale is at college, texting me photos of his study group. My mom just sent Zara a recipe she wants to try together next weekend. Life is full and messy and wonderful. Zara comes out to join me, 2 cups of coffee in her hands. She's finally perfected the way I like it. What are you thinking about? She asks, settling beside me. That first day you asked if we could play games again. Do you remember? She laughs. Of course. I was so nervous asking. I didn't know if it was appropriate. No, I'm glad you asked. I'm glad you kept asking. For more time, for more moments, for more of everything. Me too. Best question I ever asked. We sit there watching the sunset, sipping our coffee. Somewhere in the apartment, my phone buzzes with another interview request about our story. More people want to know about the human and the alien who fell in love. I'll answer it later, like I've answered all the others, because I believe in telling this story. People need hope. They need to know that love can bridge any distance, even the distance between worlds. Do you still miss home? I ask Zara quietly. She thinks about it. I miss what it was. The memories, the people I lost. But home isn't just a place anymore. Home is where my family is. My brother, my husband. She squeezes my hand. Home is right here, and she's right. After everything we went through, all the challenges and changes and growth, we built something real. Something that started with a simple job arrangement and became a life. A family, a home. Can we do this again tomorrow? She asks, echoing that first question that changed everything. Tomorrow and every day after that, I promise. Because when your alien maid asks if you can spend more time together, and you realize she's not just a servant, not just a friend, but the person you want to spend your entire life with, you say yes. You keep saying yes. You build a life out of those yeses, one day at a time, one moment at a time, and it's the best decision you'll ever make.